share with you the importance of building a sustainable business. You heard kind of my experience of starting and selling my business, so I am well placed to be able to share this with you. So who am I? As I said, I am Daniella Genas. I am the founder of She's the Boss International, a consultancy where I work with established and aspiring female entrepreneurs to think big, take action and keep pushing through consultancy, coaching, mentoring and training programs. I have a master's in enterprise and an MBA specializing in strategy and entrepreneurship. I am an alumni of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. I'm also an Unlimited Big Venture Challenge winner and Birmingham Young Professional of the Year 2013 Entrepreneurship Award winner. And I don't say these things to show off, I say them because as black women, a lot of the time we play it small. We achieve things and we don't want people to think we've got a big head and we're egotistical. So we say, oh yeah, I'm a consultant. No, I am the boss. And I want you all to say the same thing. Whether you're the boss in business, whether you're the boss in education, whether you're the boss in your life, whether you're the boss in your home, you are the boss. And I am the boss. So how did I get to be the boss? I ran an unsustainable business. So this session is about a sustainable business, and I can tell you because I had an unsustainable business. So I want to share what I learned with you over my entrepreneurial journey so that you don't have an unsustainable business. So what is a sustainable business? It's one that can run independently of you, the founder. It's one that can generate its own income without having to rely externally on external funds. It's something that a lot of black women do not achieve, unfortunately. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more later. My business was a social enterprise, a community interest company called Aspire for You. And the business, as I said, I sold it, so it's still running, but it's not running in the same way that it was when I ran it. So I started, registered, and my passion was for young people and changing the lives and experiences of young people. And I love to sing and I love to dance, and I had been engaged as an inner city young person in Nottingham. So I'm coming here today from Birmingham, but I'm actually from Nottingham, from Baseford. I don't know if anybody knows where that is. My mom's still there, just by City Hospital. I was from a disadvantaged background, and I was engaged by an organisation called Build Mentor Programme, and they enabled me to take part in workshops, singing and dancing. I also used to go to dance class and singing, and for me that was a really good outlet. So I started Aspire for You in Birmingham to do the same for the inner city young people there. And that was my passion and my focus. I just want to help young people in any way that I can. And as mentioned in my kind of intro, I realised very quickly that I was good at writing funding applications, which at the time seemed like a great skill. Yeah, I write these funding applications and the people give me money. So I would write another one. Someone else would give me money. I'd write another one and someone else would give me money. And before I knew it, I had an office, I had staff. I was running all of these programs, which then enabled me to then spend time on focusing on sponsorship and going out and getting all these big sponsors and feeling like I was the boss. Because I was the boss. I've got staff. This is a business. And then my accountant says, your turnover is £267. What? How can that be the turnover? We've had like over 100 grand this year going into the bank. Yeah, but it was all funded. So that's not turnover. But how can it not? Of course it's turnover. No, it's not. It's funded income. That is not commercial turnover. Panic. What do I do now? I need to go and make some money. I hate sales. I've always hated sales. It's not something I like to do. So I would do this big sales plan, focus for like a day. Let's call people, let's try and sell, because I also did event management, so let's try and sell the event management service. People would say no, and then I'd just go back to doing the youth stuff, because that's what I enjoyed. And then the funding ran out. So one funding stream finished, and I lost one member of staff. Oh, I need to do sales. I'm calling people, they said no, so I'm just going to go back and do this stuff with the young people, because I enjoy it. And then another funding finished, and I lost 2 members of staff. Oh my gosh, I need to do sales, I need to get some sales, I need to get some business. Oh, I got a sale. It's all fine. I don't need to make sales calls anymore because I've got a client. And then that event finished and the money came in and the other fund ran out and now I've lost 2 more members of staff. And that continued and continued. I went on the Goldman Sachs program, I went on the Unlimited Big Venture Challenge program, and then I was left with 1 member of staff. and no funding left. My business was unsustainable. At the same time as this, I got married. Me and my husband decided we wanted to have a baby. I'd been on the Unlimited Big Venture Challenge program, and they said, we will match fund 25 grand if you can raise 25 grand. Birmingham City Council said, if you can raise that 25 grand, we'll give you 35 grand. I said, great, I know how to do that. I can then take on a member of staff, so I can go off and have a baby, and the operations manager and the sales manager can do the sales that I hate and do the event management that I don't particularly love. So that when I've had the baby and the baby's raised to at least one, I can put her in nursery and then I can come back and run my business. The day that I went to sign the paperwork for the investment, the investor said, come back in 6 months because we need to see that you can make sales. The same thing that I've been avoiding is the same thing that they wanted to see evidence of. In 6 months' time, I would have had a 3-month-old. There was no way that I'd be able to do it. At the same time, my mum was in Queen's Medical Centre in intensive care, half dead, from a routine operation. She remained in the hospital for about 5 months. There was no way on this earth I was going to be able to achieve those sales goals. So I decided to close the business. And it was heartbreaking. The business was my baby. I had to let my baby go. Luckily for me, a guy at that time, and whenever I tell this story, I say the same thing to this day. I don't know where he came from, but he was just around and said, oh, I'm looking for a CIC. I'll buy it off you. Okay. But I will sell it. That was what sustained me to be able to pay for my maternity leave, selling my business. And it was devastating. Had I built a sustainable business, I would still have my business today. That business needed to be able to run without me in it, and it couldn't. It needed to be able to generate its own income and not rely on handouts, and it couldn't. And there's a difference between having a social business and having a sustainable business, and the two things can operate in tandem, but often they don't. It's either social or sustainable, and they need to be both. A socially sustainable business is one that achieves its social output, but also has worked out how to generate its own income. How many of you in the room have an idea to start a business that has a social impact? That made my point. Thanks. How many of you who just put your hand up have worked out how the business is going to generate its own income without any external funding or support? That number is much smaller. How many of you have an idea to start a commercial business?
Maybe I should put my hand down for the first question.
So this is really, really important stuff that you need to know. There is a big difference between a social business and a commercial business, but the two things both need to be able to generate income and make a profit. Financial sustainability is key. Before you start any business, and even if your business is 2 years in from today, you need to be able to work out how your business is going to be financially sustainable. How are you going to be able to generate income that will allow your business to run irrespective of the government changing, irrespective of a funder saying we don't have any funds available? Yeah. How is your business going to be able to cope? And this also goes to this idea of, are you building a business or are you starting a project? And a lot of us are starting projects and calling them businesses. And financial sustainability, irrespective of what your business is, has to be key. And I find one of the things, particularly in our community and within the social enterprise sector, is always about impact. And impact is important, but financial sustainability is even more important. And I'm not going to say that in an ashamed way, I'm going to say it with my chest. Finance is more important than social impact. If you have no finance, you cannot make a social impact. Without the money, there is no business.
That's right.
The more money you make, the more people you can go and help with your social business. And that's the mistake that I made. I wanted to help people, but didn't work out how to generate the income. I focused on going out and doing dance classes and doing singing classes and doing modelling stuff because I enjoyed it. What I enjoy is irrelevant. And right now, as much as I'm helping people like you today, I am not doing the thing that I wanted to do because I didn't do this thing. So even when it's boring, even when people are telling you no, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it scares you, you have to work out how to generate money for your business. Otherwise, you have no business, you have a project.
Yes. Wow.
Who remembers Blockbuster?
Oh my God. It's back to
Sustainability through innovation. How many of you had an idea for a business at any point? How many of you are running those businesses today? How many of you have spent more than a week sitting down and focusing on innovation and coming up with new ideas and new projects and new services and new customers and new way of doing things in your business? I said more than a week. Like 7 days in a row. Oh, clap for yourself. Innovation is key, and this is another area where we fall down. We don't spend time on innovation. We say this is the business that we're doing, and we focus on trying to do that business well, as opposed to how can I do it differently? What is going on around me that I need to take advantage of? Blockbuster is one of those businesses that failed in this area. How many of you watch Netflix? How many of you have a Netflix account?
my brother got
Yeah, who has access to it? Netflix saw what Blockbuster didn't. And Blockbuster should have saw what Netflix was seeing, and they didn't. Because they were focused on how do we run our business well today, not how are we going to make sure that in 3 years' time, those who were in my workshop 2022, in 3 years' time, is this business going to still be viable? What do we need to do? Are people going to still have videos in 3 years' time? Are people going to want to come out of their house and go and get a video when this thing called the internet is here? If they had spent those 7 days or 1 day a week or 2 hours a week for a year focusing on innovation and how to generate more income and be sustainable through innovation, you wouldn't have a Netflix and chill, you'd have a Blockbuster and chill. But Blockbuster didn't get the memo and they didn't spend the time. So you need to spend the time, sit down and focus. What am I doing with my business? What are people around me doing? What's going on in the industry? If anyone follows me on Instagram, you may have saw my Insta story yesterday. Oh, my at is She's the Boss, INTL. So yesterday I was speaking, I had a client meeting on Thursday, and the lady works in health and safety construction, and it was a workshop with some of her staff. And I asked her like one question, and she started reading off all these facts and figures about the industry, just off the top of her head. Percentages, fractions, stuff that just went completely over my head. She knew her industry in and out. She knew the issues that her customers were facing. She knew what their competitors were doing. She knew everything. She made me feel a bit embarrassed because I'm like, I don't know that much about my sector. Clearly I need to get reading. And so do you. That's what Blockbuster didn't do. They didn't know what was going on in their industry. And they didn't look at what other industries were doing and take parts of that and incorporate it to be more innovative. So don't just look at what's going on in your industry, look at what's going on in other industries and how you can adopt certain elements to make you more competitive and therefore more sustainable. Beautiful picture, right? I love it. Sustainability through business independence. Your business should be like your child. And not in the sense that you tell it off and stuff like that. Sometimes. But you need to raise your business in the same way you'd raise a child. What is your goal when you're raising a child? It's to create an independent human that can operate without you. You don't want to raise children that at 30-something years of age are still going to be in your house asking, Mom, can I beg £5 to borrow please? That's not your goal. The goal is, I need you to grow up, understand the world, go on, and we still will keep in touch, and I still want you to come to my house for Sunday dinner, but then when the dinner is finished, get out and go to your own house and quiet. And that's how you're supposed to be raising your business. How can you raise your business so that, yeah, I can dip in and out, and you might call me for advice, and I can be there even physically, but you don't need me to be there. If I have to step away, if I'm sick, if I have to go on holiday, if I have a child, the business will continue. Your business is supposed to be about a legacy, and especially within our community, our business need to be legacies. Not we start, we run for 5 years and then they're gone. They need to be legacies so that we can employ people and we can empower our community. We can only do that by building independent businesses. And as morbid as it sounds, if you drop dead tomorrow, what happens to your business? How many of you, and I'm not wishing death on anyone, so maybe I'll use a different example. If you had to leave the country to go to the Caribbean for 6 months, how many of your business could continue without you? And you had no access to phone, no access to email. There's a problem. I deal with businesses all the time, and actually there's one business in particular that I've been consulting with recently who, to be honest, I don't even understand why he needs my help, because he's soaring. If he died tomorrow, his business would continue to flourish without him. He has every single part of his business written out in a checklist on an online thing. You can go in and write, how do I do this? And a whole spreadsheet comes up. This is how you do this, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And if this happens, then refer to step 2. And if this happens, refer to step 8. That's how we need to be building our businesses. So that if you cannot be there, and as women, and not every woman wants to have a baby, but if you do want to have a baby, you don't know that you're going to get pregnant and be completely leaned over with, what's that, the hyperemesis gravidalis or whatever it's called. Luckily I didn't get it with my daughter, but you never know. It's when you can't stop vomiting, you have to go to the hospital and you're on bed rest for 6 months. These are the things that we have to worry about, that male-led businesses don't need to consider. If you want to have a baby, do you want to have a baby and take that baby to work from day one, or do you want to sit at home for a little while? If your business can't run without you, there's no sitting at home for a little while. How many Jamaicans are in there? I know that we're a minority here, but I hope you all understand patois. You must take target. And that means basically, it's going to be cracking up. You like that one? But you must be able to take talking. So if somebody comes in and says, this should be done this way, because this is better, the fact that it's yours is irrelevant. Is that better? And if it's better, then do it that way. And that is a huge benefit. Franchising is a great way to grow revenue. So you have to, in a franchise, has anybody read the story of McDonald's? Fuck, guy, yeah. Read that. And also read The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber. Everybody needs to buy The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber, and also as a bonus book. Michael E. Gerber. Also The Fast Lane Millionaire by M.J. DeMarco. Sorry, I took Fast Lane. Fast Lane Millionaire by M.J. DeMarco. The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber. And the book about McDonald's, I don't recall the title, but it's Ray Kroc, I think is the person. So it's the person that didn't really invent McDonald's, he stole it. He then went, he went and he did it well though. So they had the existing business that was just a business, that was just doing owner reliance. He came in, process mapped everything, franchised, and now when you think of McDonald's, you think of McDonald's. Does anybody know who the McDonald brothers are? No, the McDonald's brothers got a couple of grand that got sent on their merry way because the Ray Kroc guy came and did this stuff that I'm telling you to do. So I'm not saying go and steal anybody's business. That's not what I'm trying to say. But the principle is, if you process map your business, and if you create an operations manual that dictates how to run your business, then you can franchise your business. You can sell your business, and now it's more attractive to a buyer, because now I can come in and I can just continue what you were doing. I don't have to learn how to. The person that bought my business, yeah, they didn't really get left with it. They got left with the name, but they would have had to learn to do everything from scratch because it wasn't mapped out. If you're looking for investment, and more of us as, again, black women, we need to be having this think big mentality. Investment to grow your business is key. And it's not key for everyone, but if you want to grow a big business, investment is the way to do it. You do not understand how much more attractive your business will be to an investor if you process mapped everything. Because they know, if I put the money in this business and this person, again, not to be morbid, but if they drop dead tomorrow, I'm not going to lose my money because that business can just take in somebody else, they can read this manual and then they can manage it. So there's so many benefits, and it makes consistency, quality for your business important. You want to be offering something consistent every time it's offered. If people are coming into your business and there's no guidelines on how to do specific things, they can be offering any sort of tag. And actually, you don't have any recourse to say, you shouldn't do it like that, because where did it tell me not to do it like that? So actually, I can do what I want, really, until you find me, but that's a separate issue. So there are many, many, many benefits of doing it. And as much as I now here would say I'm an expert in this area, I don't want to go back and tell the younger me to do it, because actually, the process that the younger me went through brought me here.